Morning boys, Boxing Day 2023, how to lose weight and build muscle. So today I'm going to talk about a concept I like to call start before you start. So I've learnt the hard way with this a few times. So say we're in between Christmas and New Year. You might have the intention of starting a new diet or workout plan, or probably both, to lose weight and build muscle. So you'll go 1st of January, I'm on the new diet, I'm hitting the gym. Don't start on the 1st of January. There'll be a bunch of unforeseen things, problems, and not even problems, just like things you didn't expect. So you want to start before. So if you start now, you can get those things out the way. So I'll give you a non-fitness related example, and I'll give you some fitness related ones as well. So I decided that 2024 I'm going to grow a YouTube channel. So what I was going to do was start on the 1st of January and upload a video every day of next year. But because I've done that with fitness in the past, I thought, no, I'll implement start before you start. So I decided to record a video every day. I started about 20 days ago. I don't know what date I started, but halfway through December, I started uploading YouTube videos. Now I knew they were going to be shit. I'm not looking for perfection, but I'm looking to iron out any teething problems. So one example, around that time, I've always been a photographer, I love photography, but I sold all my camera equipment and got out of it for a few years. And I decided to take, just for like family memories and taking pictures with family and friends, I wanted to get a camera again. So I did my research and I bought a camera. Now, because I like photography and I'm a bit of a purist, I've always wanted a Leica camera, but they're really expensive and I can't afford one. So I went for this Lumix GX85 that if you cover up the brand label, it kind of looks like a Leica. So I've got a lens and camera combination that looked like a Leica, and it was good for photography, and it shot 4K video. It's quite an old camera. Now I thought that was going to be perfect for shooting YouTube videos. 4K, fine. As soon as I started recording YouTube videos, I realised you need a flip out screen so you can see what you're doing, and you need good autofocus. And the autofocus on the Lumix was terrible. So on day one of trying to record videos, I had all these issues which made it a ball ache. So that was day one, was a write-off. So I did my research again, bought my new camera, and this is Sony ZV-E10. Right, ZV-E10. Amazing camera. Brilliant. It's got a flip out screen, takes an audio input, and the kit lens is pretty good. And the autofocus is amazing. Sony, I think, is very good for autofocus, so that's something I learned. So that was day one of making a video. So I had to wait 4 days for the new camera to come, and then that solved that problem. Turned the camera on, tried to record the video for that day, and the SD card I used in the old camera wasn't compatible with the new one. Same SD card, just wasn't quick enough to take the file. Didn't see that coming because I bought a really good SD card the first time, right? So that was day two of recording. That was like 4 days written off, and then another day. Went and got a new SD card. And then after that, it was pretty good. The camera's amazing, the audio setup I've got is good. So that was problem solved. And since then, I've been able to record a video every day with very little friction, and it's been good. And the video quality is good, audio for the most part is good. And what are we on now? The 26th. I've still got a few more days. I've got a few videos under my belt, a few more days until the new year. So I'll be going into the new year with a good, clean setup of how this is going to work for a habit I'm trying to build. So I say that because if I'd have started on the 1st of January, I would have missed the first upload. I would have had to shoot it on my phone or something, which is fine, but it wasn't how I'd intended to do it. Then I would have had to buy the new camera, and it would have just pissed me off that I've started. I could have avoided that by starting before I start. So I'll give you another example. So many years I've set the intention of sort of doing a body transformation that starts on the 1st of January, and that includes diet and exercise. So I'll say, right, I'm going to hit the gym. Well, a lot of the gyms are closed around Christmas and New Year, so that might piss you off. But if you're already in the habit of doing it, you can find other ways. It's not a big issue, if you know what I mean. Diet. You've just come out of a week, potentially, of eating a lot of shit and being quite sedentary and lazy. So the friction of going into a health transformation directly after that is absolutely massive. So day one, 1st of January, you're gonna feel absolutely terrible because you've just binge ate shit. Do you know what I mean? You're setting yourself up for failure. But if you say you do from Boxing Day to New Year, you start before you start, and you eat fairly clean, not 100%, but you eat fairly clean, and you go for walks just to get the exercise in. That's not hard. Walking and eating slightly cleaner than you normally would, especially on those days, is not hard. But you've implemented start before you start, and then you're like, oh, I'm already in the swing of this. And maybe you didn't realise, but you actually don't have any gym clothes because you haven't been in a while. Or your trainers, the first walk you went on, you got a hole in them, well, you've got to get new trainers. Do you know what I mean? Your water bottle's broke because you haven't used it in so long. I don't know, they're bad examples, but you know what I mean. You want to iron out, and they're unforeseen. Maybe you go to drive to the gym, yeah, because you can't walk to the gym, and your car breaks, and now you can't go to the gym that day because you've got to fix your car. Well, if you did that on 1st of January, that would piss you off. And these problems are always going to come up, but it's just, it irons out potential avoidable problems, and it just gets you in the swing of being anti-fragile. So when the problem arises on the 1st of January, it's going to be annoying if that's your first day. But if you've already got a week under your belt, you think, oh, there's not too much lost because I've already gained momentum. So start before you start is designed to gain momentum before you actually start in the new year, or whenever it is. Maybe it's Monday. So yeah, over the next few days, I would recommend implementing what your habits, if you do set New Year's resolutions, which shouldn't really be a thing, because as soon as you decide that change is required in your life, you should just implement it. You don't need to wait for a new year or the start of a new calendar. So you want to start immediately anyway with whatever it is. If you realise your finances are fucked, then you start today. Do you know what I mean? You don't go, oh, I'm going to buy a new TV and then I'll start. No, you start today. So yeah, that's today's little concept. Start before you start. So yeah, we're just down the beach, getting a bit of a barefoot walk in. Let's see what we've got. Beautiful. So yeah, I've just been down the allotment this morning. I'll do a video on this, but I'm pretty sure the root, you know, words sort of have their origin. The origin of the word paradise comes from, it means walled garden. So I've got like a theory that if you want paradise on earth, you need a garden, basically. So I've got an allotment and I grow flowers there, and last summer I learnt a lot of life lessons and sort of philosophies from growing flowers, and in the summer I'll make videos on that because I found it really interesting. But I've been down there this morning. I'm taking a rose from my allotment and planting it in a pot at home. So for you guys, if you've made it this far in the video, then you might be interested in what I'm getting up to on Boxing Day. But I'm taking some daffodils, tulips, and I'll show you when I do it, but we'll be repotting a rose, so see you when I do. Right boys, so yeah, something I've just thought of is what start before you start does is it gets you a good workflow. So you figure out the workflow. So when you're starting a new diet and exercise program, there's a way you think it's going to go, and in reality it doesn't go like that. So maybe you're food prepping and you think, oh yeah, I'll be able to food prep a week's worth of food. But then when you do that, it's actually easier to food prep 3 days in advance, or for your lifestyle, there'll be little workflow things. It's not the habit itself, going to the gym or being on a diet. That's what's going to get you the result. The start before you start doesn't actually put much of a dent in the habit. It's the workflow that you're optimizing. So maybe you are going to food prep, but you actually realised you don't have any containers to put it in, and you can't get to the shop today, so that's today you can't food prep. And then you realise you've got no room in your freezer and you need to buy a bigger freezer. So start before you start optimizes workflow. It doesn't really gain you any progress per se in the habits. So it's to iron out workflow and build momentum. So I hope that makes sense. So another way of implementing start before you start, which I've just thought of, is starting instantly. So I kind of mentioned this earlier. Anytime you realise or decide that you need to make change, in your mind you'll always look for the perfect time to start. And it's always right now. So they say the best time to plant an oak tree is 10 years ago. The second best time is now. And the worst time is obviously sometime in the future. I don't think that's part of the quote, but you know what I'm saying. At any time in the future. So that's what you want to not do. So anytime you got to implement change, do it immediately and expect there to be friction and be issues and for you to fail a few times. And that's the part of starting that's good. You can iron those out, and then you'll get into a workflow and a system that works for you. So yeah, anytime there's change needs implementing, do it immediately and expect there to be friction and you to fuck up a bit. Right boys, so I forgot to give you your actionable step when I was down the beach. So it's this: whatever you're planning on implementing at some magical point in the future, maybe 1st of January, Monday, whatever it is, do it today, but do an easier version of it. So say January the 1st, new year, you're starting your new gym regime, or your new gym program. Go for a 30-minute walk today and tomorrow, and then so build that habit and build the momentum. 30-minute walk. You're not hitting the gym, you're not doing some crazy abs workout or push-ups or anything like that. 30-minute walk. If you're starting a diet, you're going to go strict carnivore, eat nothing but meat. Implement something small today. Front load nutrition, then eat shit. So maybe have one beef burger made out of beef mince if you're going carnivore. If you're going to be a vegetarian, eat some veg today. Do you know what I mean? Just make it simple, but do it. Don't think too much of it. Don't think, oh, it's day one, I'm on it. You're just implementing it. Starting before you start, and then carrying on when that magical time that you've set comes. And it will be like second nature. You're already doing it. You've just got to amp it up a little bit. So actionable step is decide what you're implementing and do a small easy version of it today. Right, so we're just repotting a rose from the allotment. So this one here we've got, that's a David Austin rose, and that one is the Poet's Wife. And then we're going in the square pot with that one, and I'm putting in with it one allium, that's Purple Sensation I think. Then we got Tulip Negrita and some daffodils, some narcissus to go in there. You don't really want to overcrowd roses, but I just want to have something in for when that's looking a bit bare. It has got some new shoots on it, so that's going to be that pot. I did want to underplant that with salvia, because salvia is a companion plant for roses, because roses sometimes get diseases, and the sulphur smell that comes off of salvia helps keep that at bay. But what I've decided to do is have a second pot, and in that one I'm going to do that little salvia. That's either Jezebel or Nachlinda, which means nightlight. I'm hoping it's the purple one, Nachlinda, but we'll see. And then I'm going in with tulips, narcissus, and I think there's some three-cornered leek in there as well, wild leeks. Then we got some cuttings from a neighbour's climbing rose. I think they're pink flowers. So yeah, show you when we're all done. Right boys, so that's it. Job done.